This is part 3 of my Manitoulin trip series, where everything starts to get a little hairy. After spending 2 days relaxing at the Raven House, I checked out at the last possible moment and made my way to Manitoulin. Here, I grabbed some lunch from Local Beans and checked out SS Norisle, one of the original ferries that took passengers from Tobermory to Manitoulin before being replaced by the Chichimon. I used to have no issue with traveling on my own, but this year I felt less sure of myself than I did before. For example, I was so looking forward to hiking the Bebe McCauley Memorial Trail in Wikwemikong, but it was so remote and there weren't other cars in the lot, and, well, there was a sign that said bears in the area. I honestly thought about turning around and not hiking at all. Luckily, I had some trail guardians to help. Meet Frost and Ember. Well, at least that's what I called them. Apparently, these two love the hiking trails, and I was happy to have two fierce companions to comfort me. The trail here was stunning, and surprisingly challenging. Climbing up the steep incline was worth it though, as you came to stunning viewpoints over the Anishinaabe traditional fishing islands. Some days, solo travel is not all it's cracked up to be. My last 2 nights were supposed to be spent at the Manitoulin Eco Park, a dark sky preserve on Manitoulin Island. A quick look at the weather showed that a storm was expected on the second night, but the first night looked okay. I decided to continue my plans for the first night, but cut my trip short. While the Manitoulin Eco Park is a cool idea, the dark sky area isn't anything grand during the day, and definitely not if it clouds over. Sure enough, about 3 hours before sunset, the blue skies were taken over by thick, giant clouds. And the bugs! Oh my god, the black flies! I got bitten in the face, even while wearing my bug net. I didn't even eat dinner because I didn't want to stand outside for the time it took to heat up my meal. So add hanger to my sour mood. By dusk, I was ready to go to bed and go home. But at around 9:30, I poked my head out of the tent that I was hiding in to see several people gathering for a dark sky lesson. The sun had just set, and the clouds had almost completely disappeared. I hung out for a couple of hours with these folks, listening to them marvel at the wonders of the sky. The 3/4 moon was so bright that you didn't even need a light to see, and it kind of made seeing the Milky Way impossible, but at least the stars were out. I woke early on my last day to the dawn chorus, the sounds of hundreds of birds singing to welcome the morning. And yet, I've never packed so fast in my life thanks to the black flies. I had 7 hours to kill before the ferry home, so I drove back to Providence Bay to see it in all its glory, and I'm so glad I did. What a difference the sun makes! I grabbed a coffee and perused the Much More Peace Cafe, wandered along the boardwalk, people watched, and finally grabbed some delicious lunch from Lake Huron Fish and Chips. Suddenly, it was time to say goodbye to Manitoulin Island and catch the Chichimon home. Despite the lows, which mostly had to do with the weather, I really enjoyed my time on the island. I finally got to hike the Cup and Saucer Trail, I marveled at Bridal Veil Falls, and I got to call the most beautiful tiny house home for 2 days. I ended up putting together a guide with all the places I visited into a blog post, which you can find in the description box below. Thanks for joining me on my trip to Manitoulin Island. Now, cue the photos. Wait, I have some really exciting news. I'm launching a print shop. Yep, that's right, a print shop. After being a photographer for over a decade, this has always been a dream of mine, and I'm finally jumping in to do it. The print shop opens on August 15th with some of my favorite Ontario photos, and you can sign up in the link below to get early access and a special discount code. If you're watching this after August 15th, still sign up, because that is the only way I will be sending out sales and discount codes in the future. Thanks!